Hello and welcome to Trail Mix by Gaze at the National Parks, the podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Dusty. And if you're joining us for the first time, Trail Mix is the short format episodes of our show. While our long format episodes explore one hiking trail in one national park, one park at a time, Trail Mix allows us to dive deeper into things we didn't get to cover on our long format episodes, including interviews, history, science, environmental justice, and more.
That's right. And this Trail Mix episode is all about
Marmots. That's right. That was Mike doing the marmot whistle scream. I think you need to do it again for everybody. Higher, though. That's better. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no fluctuation in the note whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like exactly on the note the whole time, and it's so high it's like a whistle.
Mm-hmm.
So it is. It's finally happening. We're finally doing a trail mix on marmots. I said we were going to do it for years, and Mike, because you're
withholding,
incredibly withholding, and you don't think marmots are cute, and you don't think that marmots are wonderful, said no for so long because you're cool.
That's it.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So he finally agreed to let us do a trail mix all about marmots.
Because I'm the dom in this relationship, everybody.
So, right, exactly. Because I'm finally getting my way. And I never get my way in this relationship.
Mm-hmm. You're getting your subway.
That's right. Okay, so real question, though. When do you feel most like a marmot?
In the morning when I have to get up for the gym at 4:30.
I think... Correct. I think I feel most like a marmot when I'm like lying and sunning myself like in the sunshine, because marmots do that all the time.
They do.
That's when I feel most like a marmot.
Mm-hmm. Let's start off with, what are marmots? Marmots are Dusty's favorite animals. They are scientifically referred to as the cutest of all animals on Earth. I don't know, capybaras are pretty close.
And I'm sorry, that's wrong.
And that's my favorite animal. They are vastly superior beings with no competition. You want me to take that again?
No, keep going.
They are beauty, they are grace, and they are practically perfect in every way. They are the carriers of joy and goodness, and they were referred to in the science community as precious angels who can do no wrong.
That's right. I mean, the research says what it says, so we can't argue with science. Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like alternative facts to me.
I think we know who did the research and wrote this episode for us.
Dusty.
But we do believe in actual science and want no part in the spread of misinformation. So here we go. Marmots are the largest members of the squirrel family.
Interesting.
At their largest, they can grow up to about 2 feet in length and around 11 pounds. Sometimes they get up to like 13 pounds. But
and they're chonky.
This is their like average weight. We'll talk about their weight later because their weight fluctuates intentionally.
So we're shaming them now?
Oh, we're not.
Okay.
No, marmots are here to say, honey, gain weight. Honey, gain weight. It's good for
bulk,
you.
honey, bulk.
Literally. They are the masters of that.
Okay.
Of bulking. So they are related to woodchucks and groundhogs, which can be found in other parts of the United States and Canada, but marmots specifically have evolved to live and thrive in higher elevation or alpine areas. Okay, so where have we seen marmots before?
We've seen marmots in Glacier National Park.
Definitely.
We've seen marmots in Mount Rainier National Park.
Right. And I think we saw one that was like up on the hill that was running around behind something in Olympic. I was trying to think, did we see any in Yellowstone?
I don't think so.
I don't remember that. And did we see any in Grand Tetons? Because they are there. I just don't remember.
No, we
if
saw
them.
Pika instead.
We did see Pika,
yeah,
which
was a win.
Super cute.
Yeah.
That was such a win. But yes, that's where we've seen. Did we see any in Rocky Mountain?
No, we saw moose.
We saw moose, but that was like, we were in Rocky Mountain in like March that year, right? And so it was, I think, actually a little early for marmots that year. Yeah. Which is why we probably didn't see them.
Yeah. It's rather easy to spot a marmot during a mountain hike. They are often found in the big open grassy areas or lower valleys of a mountain. They are almost always found near rocks because they build burrows near rocks.
Their diet is usually grasses and also seeds and sometimes insects. They are also prey for animals like bears, coyotes, and eagles. They hibernate for about 8 months and come out in the spring and summer.
Upon emerging from hibernation, they mate within the first 2 weeks. On average, they have about 5 marmot babies per year. Marmots also live big love style in their colonies, with one male marmot and many female marmots and all of their young.
Marmots are known for their whistle screams. Mike, how does it sound again? Yes, exactly. So these sounds are both used for fear as well as excitement. This scream earned marmots the nickname Whistle Pig. And the jokes just write themselves. So male marmots are also quite territorial. And to define territory, male marmots don't use screams. They instead will hold their ground to assert dominance and then wave their tails back and forth.
There are many variations of marmots. The most common marmots that can be seen in national parks are yellow-bellied marmots and hoary marmots. Over on the West Coast, one may see Olympic marmots and Vancouver Island marmots. And if visiting Alaska, one might see Alaska marmots.
So let's first discuss yellow-bellied marmots. They are seen the most often in Rocky Mountains and the Sierra Nevadas. They are typically found in elevation between 6,500 and 13,500 feet. They are known for their coarse reddish-brown fur and their often yellowish underbelly.
Like other marmots, they are social animals, meaning they live together. Their social comfort also means they don't mind humans. Humans often mean food, and like other members of the squirrel family, marmots know that humans often share food. The cute factor plays a big part here. Human hikers often want to pet marmots or get as close as possible to them, and so marmots tend not to be afraid of coming right up to people.
Okay, so I need to interject here for a moment and just say that this could be my white whale. And this is what I mean by that. I do not touch wildlife. We do not touch wildlife. No. We sit here on these mics each week and we talk about the importance of not touching wildlife. And while we have encountered many, many marmots on the trails, we have never pet them or snuggled with them or scooped them up and put them in our bags. But if there was ever an animal that would tempt me to do that, it would be a marmot. But I know that this is ultimately not good for them to interact directly with me. So therefore, I don't. And neither should you, I say through tears. But here we are again on these mics saying, don't touch them, don't pet them, do not feed them, let them be.
Correct. If marmots become dependent on human food, they will no longer survive in the environment that they have evolved to live in. It is in the best interest of the marmot and everyone else that you continue to, like with all wild animals, keep your distance. It is tough though, because marmots are very cute and don't at all look threatening and will come right up to you.
Another very common type of marmot is the hoary marmot. Again, jokes writing themselves. Mm-hmm. This is the type of marmot we've seen the most.
Yes.
Hoary marmots are known for their silver grayish color. They also have a distinct gray and black striping on their snout. They are the largest of the marmot species, meaning physically the biggest. If you are seeing a marmot in a national park, you are likely seeing a yellow-bellied marmot or a hoary marmot, or you may just be looking at a woodchuck. If it is screaming, however, it's not a woodchuck, it is a marmot.
The Olympic marmot is known for its lighter brown color, and the Vancouver Island marmot is known for its dark, more saturated brown color. The Alaska marmot is grayer in color and more comparable to the hoary marmot.
Okay, so we have only ever seen yellow-bellied marmots and hoary marmots. Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's it. We did not see any Olympic marmots in Olympic. I mean, that one we saw in the distance might have been an Olympic marmot, but we didn't see it for long enough in order to know. It also could have been a woodchuck. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
We don't have marmots over on the East Coast the way the West Coast does.
No.
So yeah, yellow-bellieds and hoaries are the most common, and those are the ones that we saw. So my favorites are the hoary marmots.
Naturally.
Hey y'all, it's Dusty and Mike with exciting news.
That's right, it's our episode finder. It's all about making finding our episodes even easier.
Want to find more episodes about hikes in Shenandoah? With over 10 episodes across 2 separate seasons, it would have involved a lot of scrolling and searching.
Now, with our episode finder, you can find all those episodes with a few easy clicks. That way, finding an episode on Yosemite from season 1 is just as easy as finding an episode on Zion, Yellowstone, and Haleakala, all in separate seasons.
With over 275 episodes in 35 different national parks, our episode finder will add ease when finding out more about hikes in these spaces.
But it's not just about hikes by national park. We've categorized our entire library so you can find hikes by state, hikes by terrain, and hikes by difficulty.
And all of our Trail Mix episodes are there too, so you can easily find our science-based episodes, interviews, and more.
Planning a trip to Colorado and want to hear more about our adventures there? Want to grunt it out on some really tricky trails or learn more about glaciers, grasslands, and mountains?
Just click the link in our show notes or on our Instagram bio, and it pops right up. You can also head directly to our website and look for the episode finder at the top of the navigation bar.
Conquer one hike in one national park, one park at a time, with just a few clicks with our episode finder. Happy trails!
So a marmot organizes its day around two feedings, a morning feeding and an evening feeding. And they spend the better part of their day and night in their burrows. So if you want to see them,
hike early and hike often. Marmots mostly eat grasses, flowers, and insects and other life found in the alpine meadows. They will occasionally eat bird eggs. One way that they ensure that all marmots eat is that one marmot will serve as lookout while the rest scour for food. When the marmot senses danger, it will let out a whistle and the rest of the marmots will be on guard for potential threats.
It'll let out a what? Yes, thank you.
And if they need to, they will jump into a nearby hole to return to their burrow.
Marmots build elaborate burrows under the ground that we will never see and that contain multiple entry points. Often marmots can be seen lying on a rock. They are in fact sunning themselves. Since they spend much of their day and year underground, they do try and soak up as much sun as they can when they are out of their burrows.
They love Sheryl Crow.
They love Sheryl Crow. She is the official
marmot songs person.
I was going to say the official soundtrack for the life of the marmot.
Got it.
Yeah.
The marmot body has also fully adapted to hibernation. It's all about energy conservation when it comes to hibernating. They eat a lot during non-hibernation months to store as much fat in their bodies as possible. Eating a large supply of food can sustain a marmot in hibernation for over 200 days. When marmots are active, their hearts beat at a rate of about 180 to 200 heartbeats per minute. Their hibernation state is not a full deep sleep, the way a human sleeps. It's more like a lethargic state of stillness where their body just simply slows. Their hearts adjust during hibernation to only about 30 beats per minute. They also only need to take about 1 to 2 breaths a minute while hibernating, and essentially burn about 1 gram of fat a day.
While hibernating, they close off the entrances to their burrows or dens with rocks and mud. This means that it is unlikely to spot a marmot in any park as of September because they won't appear above the earth again until later spring.
When marmots reemerge, they mate very quickly, and gestation only lasts 30 days. Some researchers at Rocky Mountain Biological Lab have seen male marmots even bring female marmots dead flowers during mating time.
Isn't that sweet?
How sweet.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. During this
Dead
time,
like my love for you.
right. During this time after hibernation, marmot bodies are at their smallest. This makes them more of a target for foxes, eagles, bears, and other animals that prey on them. Sometimes these animals know that marmots will be emerging, so they position themselves to wait for the moment they come out of their burrows after hibernation. This has made marmots hyper aware of danger from these animals. They are very specific about where they look for food and how they keep watch.
Marmot babies start to show up in late July. Marmots don't take food with them to their burrows. They simply eat as much as they can. You can see this firsthand if you're hiking in later summer when marmots are doing their last-minute stock up. At this point, marmots have much larger bodies and are gearing up for a long hibernation.
In fact, become twice their normal body weight.
Damn.
So that's what I mean. When they bulk. They bulk.
Mm-hmm.
And like humans, especially Mike, marmots are always checking in on the weather.
That's right.
In particular, the wind. Depending on the direction, the wind can bring with it mosquitoes. Thus, if you're hiking and it's a western wind bringing mosquitoes onto the trail, you will likely not see marmots as they will retreat back into their burrows until the mosquitoes are gone. Mosquitoes prevent them from food finding, and they also find them to be greatly annoying. So another way that marmots are like humans.
Exactly.
Okay, so in what ways is your everyday life like that of a marmot's everyday life?
The screaming.
Definitely the screaming.
The screaming.
The morning and evening feedings.
Yes.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Not very Hobbit-esque, that's for sure.
I find the bodies thing to be super fascinating. That it's like they basically put their bodies into a state of like...
Suspended animation.
It's not
kind
sleep.
Of? Yeah.
They're not asleep. They're just sort of like...
Lounging
and slow and lethargic.
For 200 days.
For 200 days.
I'd be bored.
Oh my God, same. But I guess they're not. They're like, no, I got my fill for the year.
That's right.
And now I'm going to go just lounge.
Fat out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Another bit about marmot hibernation is that it essentially halts their aging process. A group of UCLA biologists found that once marmots were about 2 years old, their hibernation process simply stalls their aging process. Blood tests reveal that the aging process of their bodies increased during active time and halted during hibernation time, and does explain why the lifespan of a marmot is abnormally long for an animal of that size.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Yeah.
It's wild that like
Rip Van Winkle yourself.
literally
baby.
they just sort of like stop progressing physically. Isn't that? It's crazy. Much of the research heard and referenced in this trail mix is from a 60 plus year study on marmots, specifically yellow-bellied marmots, done by the nonprofit organization Rocky Mountain Biological Laboratory, which is based in Colorado. The research was funded by Brazil's Science Without Borders program, part of the country's National Council of Technological and Scientific Development, and the National Geographic Survey, a Rocky Mountain Biological Laboratory Research Fellowship, and the National Science Foundation.
One of the major conclusions derived from this research, as it relates to humans and how the lives of marmots could improve human life, is that there may in fact be advantages to creating or recreating hibernation-like conditions, specifically when it comes to the preservation of organs for transplantation.
Okay, so we can learn a lot from marmot hibernation here, right? So like marmot hibernation creates this circumstance in like cold where marmots just stop aging.
Yeah.
It's wild. Science is like, hey, how do we borrow from this and recreate this to like preserve organs that are being transplanted? I mean, obviously they transplant organs in like, you know, cold environments or ice chests or whatever. But it's like, I'm like, maybe there is something to the cryogenic therapy.
You know, there's some crazy billionaire who's sinking a lot of money into this.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
How do we freeze ourselves in space when we leave this rotting Earth?
Maybe, yeah. So the sources for today's trail mix include the National Park Service, Denali Education Center, and the Rocky Mountain Biological Laboratory, and the article Marmots, Seasons, and Climate Change by Kathleen Grogan. And now let's end this trail mix like we end all of our trail mixes with a game. Mike, are you ready for our game?
I am.
So in this game, you have to come up with the marmot's name. I'm going to describe the marmot. You have to come up with its name.
Okay.
This first little marmot is under the Christmas tree if you've been bad.
What's lump of coal marmot?
And the name of this marmot is Cole.
Cole. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So I'm just naming them. Okay.
Yeah, you get it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, great. So the next little marmot. The next little marmot comes on a little dish in a little square after you've cut it off from like a big long brick.
What's crust?
Not crust. From a big long brick of butter.
What's pat?
That is right. That's
Pat the marmot?
Pat the marmot. Okay, great.
Don't do that.
The next one. This little marmot uses a walkie-talkie and wants to always communicate to you that they've understood what you've said. You know this marmot's name.
Who's Mike the marmot?
No. His name is Roger.
Correct. That.
Great. This little marmot will give you free money from the government.
Who's rebate marmot?
No. Who is Grant?
Grant. Okay.
Okay, great. This little marmot is always...
also rebate McIntyre.
There you go. This little marmot is always flying a pride flag.
Who's Pride Marmot?
No. It's a name. This is a punny name game.
I know, but
Pride isn't a name, though. I'm
know.
sure somebody's named
You
Pride.
know,
Sorry, Pride. All right. This little marmot is always flying a pride flag because it's always this month.
Who's June?
That's right. It's June the marmot. Correct. This little marmot is always running after something that's running away from him.
Who's Chase?
That's right. Good job. Okay. This little marmot appears on a necklace, but grew up inside of an oyster.
Who's Pearl?
That's right. This little marmot only comes out between June and August.
Who's July?
No, in the months of June, July, and August.
Who's Summer?
That's right. And finally, this little marmot sold his pocket watch in order to buy combs for his partner.
Who's Magi the marmot?
Not Magi the marmot. Who wrote that?
Who's Dickens? Charles.
Oh,
No.
No. Gift of the Magi is the story and the reference. Who wrote Gift of the Magi, girl? It was not Dickens. The name of this marmot is O. Henry.
Oh.
Did we not know that O. Henry
No.
wrote Gift of the Magi?
No.
Well, I won't hold that against you.
Apparently you are, though.
O. Henry is known for one story, and it's The Gift of the Magi.
Okay.
There you go.
Great.
And
learned
those were
something today.
those little marmot names.
Mhm. Looking for more episodes like the one you just heard? Then be sure to check out our episode finder for episodes by park, state, hiking difficulty, and terrain, as well as all of our Trail Mix episodes in one helpful place. Click the link in the show notes of this episode, our Instagram bio, or visit our website to make your listening experience even easier.
This has been Gaze at the National Parks, the podcast, and we're here to remind you to hike early and hike often, and that adventure is always out there.
Gaze at the National Parks was created, produced, edited, and hosted by us,
Dustin Ballard,
and Michael Ryan.
To see images from this episode, follow our Instagram at Gaze at the National Parks. To contact us, email us at gazeatthenationalparks@gmail.com. And to find out more about the parks visited on this show, visit our website, gazeatthenationalparks.com. That's Gaze, G-A-Z-E.
All original artwork featured on Instagram and on our website is by me, Michael Ryan.
All original music was written and performed by Dave Seaman and Mariella Klinger, with Sean Sklios on guitar. Our music producer is Skylar Fortgang.
We would also like to acknowledge that while recording this episode that we were on the traditional and stolen lands of the Lenape people, also known as New Jersey.